Hey guys, it's Fayon here. We're traveling up to the Central Coast to meet our friend Benjamin Byfield, who is better known as the Meditative Monkey on Instagram. Gonna stay with him for a couple of weeks, teach a class. It's gonna be a lot of fun, get in a lot of training. Let's go. We're here, guys, back again with Mr. Byfield.
You're on the Central Coast.
10 hours of driving, and I'm standing in his holy grail, his face. Just do a quick 360. You guys will see a bit more than that.
Hopefully do lots of moving this week. Lots of training, sharing some ideas.
That's what I've been looking forward to for a long time.
And teaching others.
That's it. So come next Tuesday, we're going to teach our holiday class together. A little 2-hour class / workshop, you know, built around this theme of connection. So I think that's going to be a really good one. We're going to prepare over these next couple of days, enjoy the Christmas, and then get to work.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. Yeah, it's great to see you.
So am I.
Yeah, onwards and upwards.
Guys, we're going to jump into a training session, pretty big training session, I think, Ben.
Hopefully.
But, you know, we're excited. First time going to come together and train in this beautiful space, which I'll show you around a bit later. But what have we got planned today, Ben?
So to burn off these Christmas tomahawks, we're going to start with a warm-up. We'll figure that out.
Always need to warm up. Yep, very important.
And then we'll go through 3, so we're going to aim for a full body strength circuit. So we're going to go through 2 tri-sets, 2 sets of 3 exercises. Handstand push-up, number 1, 1 arm row, number 2, back squat, so upper body push, upper body pull, some legs. B1, straddle press, so some straight arm pushing. B2, some lever work, so straight arm pulling. And then B3, we're going to use the GHD. I'm going to show Fayon a cool new exercise, be a bit more hamstring and hinge dominant. And then we'll finish off with bonus.
Really looking forward to this because as we jump in and out of it, we'll be able to, I guess, see how Ben performs things, how I perform things, give ourselves a few little cues. I know Ben and I practice a lot of time just solo practicing, so we're really going to enjoy working out together today and then, trading opinions. I don't know if it's secrets, but you know.
Just perspectives and approaches to it. Yeah, and I think that's the really exciting thing is that so much of our practice is solo, working alone, and working with another person and being able to just observe how someone else's body responds to different stimulus is fascinating. So yeah, this is a rare treat. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. So we're going to get stuck in, get to work.
Let's go.
toes up. Yeah.
Take your time. Glutes hard.
One arm row, really interested to find out more about this one. Ben's been working this for a few phases. It's kind of a bit new to me, so we're going to get him to take us through. I think it's a really interesting pulling exercise.
Yeah, so I think of this as like a horizontal pull. So traditionally, like a common exercise might be like front lever rows, but this is a really nice way to work one arm at a time, so working unilateral pulling. So the progression you could start with is at an incline, and you might begin with both feet on the ground. So if we just that. So the idea with the one arm row is that there's this element of rotation. So if I'm pulling it with the right arm, I'm going to be using the left and reaching across the body, pulling it into the middle of the sternum. So there's a strong emphasis on this scapular retraction and depression in that top position. So with both feet, you can start with the feet underneath the anchor point, pulling across, connecting to the middle of the sternum, coming down with control. You could make it easier by stepping back, or make it harder by going underneath it. The next step would be to start to take a support leg away. So the first one would be a contralateral row. So we're working the arm with the opposite leg. And what we're theorizing is that the reason that this is, what makes it a little bit, what makes it harder is that you're on one foot. What makes it easier than the next progression is the length of the lever arm. So we'll explain that in a second when we get to the next step. But if I work with the same leg off the floor, so I'm supported by the opposite limb, and here, this arm in particular, and the center line has to work a bit harder to maintain stability. Then the next step, where we're shortening that lever arm, is working ipsilateral, so working same side to the pulling arm. So if I'm holding with the right arm, I would just have the right leg on the floor with that left arm off, and then I have this big rotation as I come up, pivoting on the ball of the foot, and then back down. So the progressions that we're working on now is bringing that all the way down so that we've got much more leverage or much more weight in the body. So again, you could work both feet on the ground, pulling up, contra, or ipsi.
This is awesome.
There's a couple more steps you work on to continue to increase the intensity, but I find these are really great progressions, especially if you're struggling with progressing from, say, two-arm pulling and you want to start to introduce single-arm pulling. It's a really novel way to approach it, and also because a lot of one-arm pulling, it's more about scapular depression, that kind of vertical pull. So this is a really nice way to work on unilateral, horizontal pulling. Yeah.
I can't wait to give this a try. I did it a little bit before. It's super challenging, so I'm going to work with the contralateral version today. I tried the ipsilateral, I just got stuck. Been working on some one-arm chin progressions, so I think this is a really nice one to add to the toolkit. Let's get stuck in.
Let's keep going.
Well, we just did some massive trisets. We promised you some bonus, or at least we wrote it on the wall. So we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do some rolls and softening just to finish off. I think it's always a nice way just to do something different versus all the strength stuff. We put a lot of tension in our bodies. But I wanted to show Ben what I'm going to call the Joseph Bart's back curl, or the Bart's curl. You heard it first here. I'll link you to the video where he's got a really good demonstration and explanation for it. But I've been doing it recently. It feels amazing, and this really works the flexion and extension of the spine. Just before, we've been working a lot of patterns which are very like hip dominant, very neutral spine dominant. Just bringing a lot of tension through the whole trunk in a neutral fixed position. Now this one's really going to be like a loaded spine exercise, which just brings this amazing feeling through the body. So what you do is, like with a band, pretty sturdy band, you put it under one foot like this. You can start ipsy first, so same side foot with same side hand. The amount that you grab, you can control the amount of tension. And what you're going to do is you're going to posterior pelvic tilt, and then flex your spine as well, as much as you can. And then you're going to reverse the movement, so you extend the spine and anterior pelvic tilt. So you have this full extension, and then come back down into this full spinal flexion position. So
I have a question.
Open, yep.
What's the intent with the pelvic position? Do you want it to be like slightly open because of the split stance, or are you trying to square it off?
So I just come sort of like rotated over the foot.
Okay.
So we can play around with it, whether to keep it here or here. I think if it's here, you're going to get a bit more like side flexion as well.
Yep.
From here, then it's going to be more like a sagittal plane flexion extension position. I've just been doing it like this, but that's a good question. You can try it like that.
Cool.
So with this, you can also do it contra as well, and so you'll feel a bit of a different sensation where, again, globally flexed, good global extension.
And you're not trying to fully extend the hip, or you are?
Yeah, you're trying to fully anterior pelvic tilt. So not extension. It's a tilt of the pelvis from posterior to anterior pelvic tilt, along with the ribs opening and closing.
Global flexion extension.
So if you can imagine like your spine, or let's say like that largest muscle, erector spinae, is being lengthened, then shortened, lengthened and shortened.
Like a fishing rod going back and forward.
Yeah. So really interesting exercise. Hope you enjoy this one as well. I'm going to link this one to the video as well, because I think it's really, really great. And thanks to Joseph Bart's for sharing this one. So
cool.
Let's go.
Let's do it.